Hello and welcome to your daily crypto recap. It's December 4th, 2025, and man, the market is buzzing with activity. We've got a major upgrade shaking things up, some institutional giants making moves, and, some absolutely wild action in the altcoin space. So let's just get right into it.
First up, let's get the big picture. The total crypto market cap is sitting at a cool $3.18 trillion. That's a solid 1.1% jump in just the last 24 hours. So yeah, the mood is definitely optimistic, and it's being fueled by some key stuff we're about to break down.
And this slide right here, it pretty much tells the story of the day. You've got Bitcoin kind of holding steady with a modest gain, but then look at Ethereum. It is absolutely stealing the show with a powerful 4.3% surge. So what's behind this split?
Well, it all boils down to one major event, the Fusaka upgrade. This is the technical change for Ethereum that everyone's been waiting for. It has finally gone live, and believe me, it is sending ripples across the entire ecosystem.
So let's take a closer look at Ethereum's upgrade surge. We're going to break down exactly how this massive tech change is shaking up the market, because honestly, it's the single biggest driver of today's action.
For anyone who isn't, super deep in the weeds on this stuff, what is the Fusaka upgrade? Well, put simply, it's a huge network update. The whole point is to make Ethereum way cheaper and faster to use, specifically by slashing those annoying Layer 2 transaction fees. Think of it like opening up brand new super fast lanes on a really busy highway.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting. This slide shows a super clear chain reaction. The upgrade launches, which immediately causes those Layer 2 fees to just plummet. We're talking an incredible 40 to 60% drop. And the key thing here is this makes using apps on Ethereum so much more affordable, which in turn is driving up demand across the whole ecosystem.
And we've got the proof right here. In the wake of this upgrade, a staggering 190,000 new Ethereum wallets have been created. Now, this isn't just some number on a screen. It's a powerful signal of new users and fresh cash flooding into the network, all because of those lower fees. And it's not just the everyday users either. The big money is taking notice. We've seen over $250 million pour into Ethereum ETFs. That's a crystal clear sign that both institutional and retail investors are feeling really confident about where Ethereum is headed after this upgrade.
So all this positive momentum kind of begs the question, right? Are we watching the beginning of the next ETH season where Ethereum just consistently outperforms the rest of the market? Let me know what you think. Drop a comment below.
All right, let's shift gears and talk about Bitcoin. While Ethereum is having its big moment, Bitcoin's story today is more about quiet strength and some big institutional moves happening behind the scenes. It's really holding steady while the big players get their pieces in place.
Right now, Bitcoin is hovering around that $93,000 mark. And look, while it's not some massive jump, it's holding strong near its monthly high. A big part of that is the growing feeling that the Federal Reserve might cut interest rates soon, which is usually great news for assets like Bitcoin.
Now this is fascinating. BlackRock, one of the biggest asset managers on the planet, just put out a statement. They're suggesting that the ever-growing U.S. national debt could actually accelerate Bitcoin adoption. It's this growing story of Bitcoin being a hedge against traditional economic problems.
So what's the impact of that? Well, when a giant like BlackRock says something like that, other institutions, they listen. This kind of sentiment is expected to just fuel even more big money flowing into Bitcoin. And on top of that, we're hearing that Charles Schwab is also planning to launch crypto trading. The institutional wave is definitely building.
And this all leads to the big question that's on pretty much everyone's mind. With all this institutional interest piling in, is this going to be the final push that Bitcoin needs to finally smash through that huge psychological barrier of $100,000?
All right, let's step away from the giants for a minute and enter what I like to call the Wild West, the altcoin casino. This is where we see the two extremes of the market just playing out in real time. You've got stable, long-term projects right next to these explosive, high-risk gambles.
And this slide just perfectly captures that contrast. On one side, you've got a major player like Solana holding steady around $142. It's all about that slow, long-term ecosystem building. And then, on the other side, you got a coin called Pippin, an AI-themed meme coin that has just exploded 130% today on nothing but pure hype. Two totally different worlds.
And just when you thought it couldn't get any crazier, here's the absolute shocker of the day. A little-known token called Avici coin has skyrocketed, wait for it, an unbelievable 1,700%.
It's just a wild reminder of the incredible volatility out there and the potential for these mind-boggling gains and, of course, losses.
Of course, it's not just about those two extremes. If we look at the broader altcoin market, there's plenty of action. You've got coins like Ultima and Fast Token posting really strong double-digit gains, while others, like Concordium, are seeing some pretty big pullbacks. It really is a mixed bag out there.
So, this brings us to you. Where do you stand in this altcoin casino? Are you focused on building a portfolio of stable, established projects, or are you chasing the thrill of that next big meme coin pump? Tell us your strategy in the comments. Okay, let's wrap this all up with a look ahead. We'll give you the key trends you absolutely need to be watching for the rest of the week to stay ahead of the game.
Here's your checklist. First, keep a really close eye on Ethereum to see if this momentum continues after the upgrade. Next, watch for any more announcements from big players like BlackRock. Also, listen for any hints from the Federal Reserve about those rate cuts. And finally, kind of gauge the market sentiment coming from that recent US-China trade truce, because that could add a whole other layer of optimism.
And hey, for a quick investor tip based on today's action, it might be smart to consider a balanced approach. You could anchor your portfolio with the big market leaders like Bitcoin and Ethereum, which are driven by really strong fundamentals. But maybe allocate a small piece to some calculated high-risk plays, if that fits your personal risk tolerance. And to leave you with a final thought, with everything going on right now, what is the one single crypto event or trend or price target that you're watching most closely for the rest of December? Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you for the next recap.